fourth generation rugby league player at this level of the game. To get things underway, the Bulldogs are showing risk. Bounced by Wilson as it turned out, and the Dogs will have it from just inside their 10. Almost a little moment there for the Bulldogs to begin this one. As the Dogs get through their opening set here. King going nowhere on that particular carry. Now Preston, likewise there, a gain of only 3 or 4. From Marnie, comes across to the middle here, and they'll bring it to the edge of the 20. Play it there through Liam Knight, of peroxide white blonde hair.
My gosh.
It really is something. Marnie to Burden, he goes long. It's an easy motion to kick straight down the throat of Keanu Kinney, who will bring it back beyond the 20 here, and he will play it about 20 short of the halfway line.
Yeah, really.
Drama-free start for the Bulldogs off the kickoff, Mitch. It almost had a massive problem for them.
Just about to say that, noticing in the pre-game that wind really started to creep up and sweep across the ground as it did hold up the footy on that kickoff. Nice conservative set though, and a good kick from Burton, and the Dogs are underway, completing their first set.
Suamana-Aui at the halfway line. Colossus of the Titans pack will play it there. Comes from Randall across to Fodawaker. Kick out in the middle of the field. Marnie was underneath. Max King also there for the Dogs. Boyd kicks. It'll hang there on that breeze you were talking about, and looking into the sun. Seen a try bombed as cold as that.
Well, can you believe it? Looked like AJ Brimson was going to score for all money. There's no one in front of him. Maybe he wanted to get... Was it Foran that he throws the ball to? Maybe he wanted to get him a try to start the season. Should have scored himself, but Taff under the high ball. Now, I've been a little bit critical of him. Under that high ball, he bombs away. Not the tallest of fullbacks. And that is unfortunate. They didn't open the scoring there, the Titans.
If only AJ Brimson realised he could have walked in to score. I'm sure he thought he was under huge pressure from behind. Instead, he gave it to Foran. It bounced off the returning 5'8" chest. And a chance wasted there by the Bulldogs with their first set of 6. A tough one there for Blake Taff. Looking into the sun, he was really struggling. Burden here. Kick it to Kinney, who has the sun at his back in this opening half. And work it back towards the 20 as we go downstairs to Matt Russell.
Good afternoon, Warren. Bigger games on paper this round, but when it comes to multicultural round, this game very much the focus. Canterbury, for example, their top 30 representing 19 different heritages. The atmosphere all day, lots of bells and drums, but the party won't continue unless the Dogs can overcome their poor record at their traditional home since returning here in 2015. Just the 3 wins, and of the heavy losses along the way, one of them was against the Gold Coast Titans 2018.
They are desperate for a win, having gone down to the Eels and also the Sharks over the first 2 weeks of the Premiership. Kick here from Boyd, again, looking into the sun. Blake Taff having all manner of issues. He might need some sunglasses, Blake Taff, in this first half. The old flip-down ones like the baseball outfielders wear, perhaps.
Here he is, carry, and they earn them.
Go for more, 10 metres.
The Bulldogs a penalty, and it's a handy one on the 40-metre line. You're right, Warren. Today's so significant for the Bulldogs in terms of their start to the season. They run into the Rabbitohs on Good Friday, the Roosters and the Melbourne Storm in the next 3 weeks. And after dropping the first 2 games, they do not want to be sitting 0-6 to start the year. An opportunity now, deep inside the Titans line for the first time this afternoon. Need to get the ball to this left-hand side.
Dogs fans soaking up the sun. And the Hill is going to the attack for the first time. At the railway end line of Belmore Sports Ground. Marnie waiting here at dummy half as King will play it. It comes across through Salmon. Now, kick out. Picks out Tanner Boyd there. An obvious target for the Dogs to work it towards kick out and try and expose the half on that right end. Here's a chance for Hutchison, who digs into the line. Did it a number of times against the Sharks for no result. He plays it quickly though from Marnie. Salmon comes back to Liam Knight, or maybe it's Billy Idle here this afternoon. All he's missing is the leather jacket. Last tackle. Goes wide across to Hutchison. He holds it up. Gets a chance. Ball from Carraz. Wilson! All he can do is score tries. In 2024, he's got his third here, and the Bulldogs have the lead.
Yeah, beautiful shape out to that right-hand side. And Wilson, he's becoming quite the try scorer for Canterbury. Showed great footwork again, very similar to last week. And on the last play, you can see here the Bulldogs long cut-out pass to Hutchison, who attempted to kick the footy and then realised that they'd all jammed in. And then great hands from Carraz to Wilson, and the Bulldogs, with their first opportunity, score some opening points, and it's a nice one.
Yeah, if you have a look at it, Drew Hutchison going at the line there, feigning to kick. That stopped the outside defenders of coming up. Just straight through the hands. The pass over the top. He's a good finisher, Wilson.
He is.
Steps back infield off his right foot. And the Dogs, after we saw the Titans up the other end of the field bomb a certain try, are the first to get on the scoreboard.
Had the in and away in the trials, didn't he? Oh, hold on.
Okay, the try's under review. Just having a look at the impact of the lead runner.
Okay, so obviously looking at these lead runners that go through as your right block, Hutchison feigned a kick here. Just have a look on the outside of Hutchison.
Jacob Preston is ahead of the ball here. He makes contact with Kieran Foran. This affects the defensive pattern of the outside players for the Gold Coast Titan. We have a decision.
Can't argue with that. A very straightforward one there, with Ryan Kelly having to come in to fill the hole that Foran would have filled had he not been removed from the defensive play. So Wilson and the Dogs remain tryless.
Earlier in the set, Matt Burton had done a really good job. Hutchison was caught with the footy. He swung to the right-hand side, wanted to play. Here's the lead run from Preston that's denied the try. Reid Marnie came back to the open side and really needed to go towards Burton, who'd swung to that right-hand side of the field, as we see the Bulldogs coaching box watching on intently.
I thought it was a bit of fighting from Kieran Foran. He knew exactly what to do.
Hold square. Hold.
Had no luck early in the game against the Sharks. Running into the referee, denying Giuliani kick out a try. They thought they were in there. It's Jamin Jolliffe who will play it here, about 35 metres out from the Bulldogs line, as Randall waits. They're deep on this right-hand side. Comes through Boyd. Now Cleese Haas, three-man tackle, taken down pretty heavily as well with Kickow over the top. Good battle that one today. Boyd down. Foran comes across the juggle. Perez gets a hold of him. And the Titans have one more. Go back to Boyd again. Doing the kicking. Taft looking up into the sun again. Coming backwards off the Titan. Back towards
Touches Blake and you're offside,
Reid Marnie. It came off Blake Taft back to Marnie, and hence he's offside.
You mentioned Taft being the target block. Well, they've shown their cards early here. The Titans, both their contestable kicks have gone straight at the top of Blake Taft. And attackers pouring through, making it a contest, and this time they get an extra set.
And only 5 metres out with full set here. As Randall waits, comes to Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. Stopped there by Knight and also Marnie. Underneath the black dot, which way do they go? Randall goes to Boyd. They're up too quickly, the Bulldogs, so it will be 6 again here. Restarted set. 7 minutes gone. No score at Belmore. Randall back through the middle. Jolliffe trying to hit and spin there. Well handled, though. Now it's Foran. Comes out the back. Good match there between those two as far as speed is concerned. In fact, it was Kinney on the sweep on that far side. Fodawaker again tries to step past Marnie. Just about did as well. They've used up 4. Randall goes to the line. Pressured there on Hutchison, who's a big body for a halfback and needed to be to stop Fa'asuamaleaui.
Kickow's in trouble, Warren. Kickow's holding a wrist.
Comes out the back to Kinney. To swoop it up was Blake Wilson. That was good work by the winger and good effect by the Bulldogs, but there is concern for Viliami Kickow.
Yeah, he's in trouble. He was carrying that left arm and holding what looks to be an elbow or a wrist, and he's with the trainer at the moment. Some real concern for their strike edge back rower.
The shoulder last week in a tackle involved Kurt Mann, he's bench forward, a bit of friendly fire to come. It's an elbow issue. He's got some very urgent taping going on back in the in-goal area. The southern end of Belmore. Kick here from deep inside their own 40. Kinney going across. He'll pick it up almost at his own goal line. Looks up and sees a host of blue and white jumpers in front of him.
Well, the good news is he's going to kick out, he's going to carry on. Just gets that elbow strap, trying to get up into the line now.
Just look what this early kick does. You can see the Titans players, particularly their forward pack, really struggling to get back on side. None of them there at the moment.
The three middles and Chris Randall still only just getting there to get to dummy half. Suamala Aoi and Fodder Waker. This is tackle 4.
Yeah.
And they've only just got themselves back on side. It is warm this afternoon in Sydney. It's an absolute classic. Randall comes across to Boyd from outside the 40. With a helicopter going down. We're taken there. Tracy, the former Shark, stopped just inside his own 40. Kick out, lurking behind the player, Stephen Crichton. See if we can see what happened here with kick out. Oh, it was Billy Idle, otherwise known as Liam Knight, whose upper body just flexed that elbow inwards.
Yeah.
Marnie comes to Knight. Players who dye their hair in very different fashions don't have a great success rate over the years. It has to be said in the NRL. I think of some famous cases as Marty comes across the burden. He'll put it in the air. Kinney standing underneath it. Kickout has the radar locked on him and collected him high when Kinney was almost laying prone on the ground.
Contact slide.
It's a little bit of a notice tackle, that one. I know he gave away the penalty kick out. We mentioned how good he was at chasing the kicks last week. Puts Kinney on notice that it's going to keep coming. Gives away the penalty. He wouldn't be too disappointed with that.
He accelerated, didn't he? As soon as the kick went up, and it's a real feature of kick-out's game. Touched on a couple of times blocking. And you're right. Next time that kick goes up, Kinney will be looking for it.
Kick out again. This time he goes over the top. The referee said no problem with the contact.
I'm not figuring he'd be off with the elbow. I might take one with me.
It would appear to be the case given what we've seen in the last 30 seconds. Just a bounce off the shoulder. Watch it again. Well, he got him on the elbow or arm there. Almost a mix-up here for the Titans, and it will cost them possession.
Well, put this down to the Dogs forward pack. They are going to work. I mean, if you look at the Gold Coast, Tino, Mo Fodder Waker, Cleese, Haas, Firma, Jolliffe, it's a very strong forward pack. And Cameron Serraldo said pre-game he knew the ambush was coming, and physically they're doing a good job, and that's why we see that error there. Foreign trying to find some room on the outside with the long passing yardage. And they've come up with an error. Canterbury winning the battle early physically.
Blocker, I follow your logic, but before those two wild tackles from Viliami Kickout, the Canterbury trainer did go to him, asked some questions, and gave a big thumbs up back to the bench. So Viliami Kickout says he's out there for as long as he's required.
Here as they go on the attack and take it inside the 30. Wrestling with Reece Haas there, earns his side 6 more tackles. King. This milestone game just outside the 20, still looking for their opening points of the game. Denied by the bucket correctly. So is now Knight working off Hutchison. Confirmation there of the 6 again call. As Marnie waits. Here's Jamie Savage. Looking there off his hip. King just taking it towards the uprights. They're deep on that right-hand side, and that's where they're headed. Marnie goes to Burton. Good tackle, one-on-one there, made by Randall underneath and Jolliffe over the top. Now Salmon again. Hutchison Kick-out standing, looking for a companion there to go on with it. Hangs on to the ball instead. They'll play it 10 metres out as Marnie comes across. Knight will pass from Marnie was forward.
Spoke about this in the pre-game, Warren. Reed Marnie at the moment, for whatever reason, you can just look at the angle that he's coming out on there. He just pushes his attack sideways. Reed's at his best when he's straightening his shoulders and playing north-south, when he's playing downfield. Just watched him in the trials and then in the early stages of this competition, getting out of dummy half, and he's very much on that 45 degree, and that time there, the pass just floating forward in a frustrating turnover for the Bulldogs.
Pretty simple for the runner to fix it too. Just get 1 metre back. And if that's what he's tending to do.
Here's a problem for the Bulldogs now because Carl Pereira is away. He's got Kelly stepping inside and outside. Big run. Did he lose the ball of his own volition there? The referee says yes.
I had him making a tackle, mate.
Gee, it's been a sloppy start here from the Titans.
Yeah, it has been.
Giving themselves a couple of opportunities to get down in the attacking zone. Just loose carries, loose passes, not being able to take the pass on the over the top from Foran.
Doesn't have much room to move, does he, Carl Pereira? Just enough to get on the outside of Wilson, and he's off and running.
When he got the ball, I honestly thought, well, he might just go the length because that's how quick he is. And he found Kelly, both teams wasting chances in the opening quarter of an hour of this one. Des Hasler back at Belmore, 6 seasons here as head coach of the Bulldogs, 2 grand finals. Mick, you know what it's like to play in those teams, part of that squad that worked under Des Hasler in those seasons. But they missed the finals in 2017. Des departed company, and they haven't been back to the finals since. It is hard to believe. It's now 7 seasons since the Bulldogs have not been back to the playoffs. King just outside the 30. Marnie is there at dummy half. Comes across to Liam Knight. Not much happening there. Simple stuff for the Bulldogs to work it down towards the attacking 20. Hutchison, 2 kick out. Standing in the Boyd tackle, comes back to Hutchison. Here is Salmon. Tackle eventually gets a touch. Need to see him more with the ball in his hands inside the 20. Something they didn't do at all, almost exclusively last week. Salmon, Hutchison rubbering. Kickout's the only chaser. Kinney gets there first, and I don't know that anybody other than Vidiami Kickout realised the kick was coming. Chase from Crichton. It was pretty simple in the end. Keanu Kinney to come across and wrap it up for the Gold Coast.
Wasn't a great set there from Kinney. A lot of passes, a lot of lateral movement, but no one really digging into the defensive line and causing the defensive line any dramas, really. The Titans at the moment handling Canterbury's shape pretty easily.
Hand side, the Titans go to work it away from their own end. This is multicultural round. I was here in 1993, gentlemen, when there were 27,000 fans here for the multicultural day between the Bulldogs and the Eels. Sight we'll never see again at a suburban ground in Sydney, that's for sure. 27,000. Unbelievable, Mick. The atmosphere was absolutely electric, and the Bulldogs thrashed the Eels 42-6.
Ruck interference, mate.
Well, errors really starting to mount, so too penalties. 3 errors for the Gold Coast side and 3 penalties. And Canterbury have had a lot of possession, and they're going to need to turn this into points soon. They tried tonight earlier, if you've just joined us, from Blake Wilson, lead runner obstructing the defensive line in Kieran Foran. There's Josh Curran now, about to be injected into the contest for the first time this afternoon.
Only 17 gone. We'll see what role he takes up. Kick out, stay on the field. Looks to be okay with that elbow that got strapped up after a friendly fire from Liam Knight.
I'd like to see the Dogs hit the lead runner on occasion. It's all out. It's too easy for the Titans defence just to adjust straight away. You just got to have a couple of different ways that you attack.
Salmon to Hutchison, he is kicked out, runs towards Haas as they go within 10 of the Titans line. Still no score here at Belmore. Marnie bypasses Salmon this time. It goes through Burton, then Hutchison, Preston, stepping through tackles, leaving defenders in his wake. Now they've got points. What a run by Jacob Preston.
You can put it down to the mistakes that the Titans have made here in the first half. Nothing really doing from the Dogs except for that set. Preston takes it upon himself just to split out of a couple of tackles. Players in motion at the line. That's the money ball there, Hutchinson. Just a little short pass there, but he hits the ball at speed, Preston does. Skips out of a tackle. Scores the opening try.
Yeah, great line there from Preston. Did a really good job. Burton swinging from the left-hand side to the right. Great catch and pass under pressure there from Hutchison. And we spoke about it pre-game, and it was areas of concern for the Gold Coast against the Dragons, particularly in the second half. Individuals coming out of the system, and you could see just there the connection between Foran, who decided to jam Hutchison, and Kelly staying back in the pocket, needed to come with him, needed to get a body in front of Preston, didn't do so. And he's proving quite the reliable force out on that right edge. Jacob Preston, great season last year for them. And he gets the first try this afternoon.
Denied correctly by the bucket back in the 6th minute. They score here in the 18th minute. Tony Serraldo looking a bit more composed than he has done through the first 2 games of the season. Matt Burton with the kicking duties. Almost an 80% success rate for his career in the NRL. So with the Breeze at their backs in this first half. And using that, he bends it back. The ball returns the upright. The Bulldogs finally do lead 6 points to 0.
Jacob Preston and the Zorba dance had the crowd bouncing here at Belmore. You're right, Michael Ennis. He was fantastic last year. The George Paponis medalist. In fact, he scooped Canterbury's awards night. So 2 of their bright finds last year. Blake Wilson goes over first, disallowed. Then Jacob Preston, he's allowed. That's why the hill is buzzing. They have a lead. Now the challenge is to cut the missed tackle count from previous weeks. 40 in round 1 against Parramatta, 48 in round 2 against Cronulla. If they can cut the missed tackles and keep scoring, it might be a good afternoon. Might play a few more times.
Yes, it might indeed. Oh boy, more problems over there for Blake Wilson, who, like Taff, is having all sorts of issues on these kickoffs and kickoffs. Takes a carry now, the right winger. Outside the 20. Also with the white headgear in there at dummy half. King. Strong carry. Quick play the ball as well. And Martin jumps out to link up with. He takes it towards the halfway line. So they've done well off the back of points to bring it down here. Almost at the 50 as Martin goes to chip one across the field. Trying to keep it in play with that Breeze at his back. He hardly touched it. That's timing and power in the kicks of Matt Burton. Khan Pereira here wrapped up just outside his 10.
Well, it's been a real pleasure to start this first quarter of the game. The kicking game of Matt Burton and also Reid Marnie. We saw a great one from him earlier in the contest, but the kicking game of the Dogs has been terrific and really forcing the Gold Coast back deep inside their own half.
Clear, Jamin.
Foran, Beau Fermor still working up to his best form off the back of the ACL reconstruction, which robbed him of the entire 2023 season. Jolliffe almost back at the halfway line. Last play here for the Titans as Boyd goes up for a kick. Going to test them out with the sun again. Taff looked and tracing, almost a mix-up. Crichton ended up with it instead. He's taken down there by Boyd.
That was a great take. What about the athleticism there of Stephen Crichton? And no fear at all. Taff coming towards the collision. Didn't flinch, Stephen Crichton. That was a great take and a big moment from the Bulldogs captain.
6 again call here. Taken down after the fact. So the tackle's up their sleeve from just outside the 30. Trying to take a second to get themselves organised behind the play. In fact, Carraz pops it out the back and puts Taff under a little bit of pressure, wrapped up there. Preston dummy half. Come to Curran. Takes it towards the middle. They're slow play the ball here, though. Good contact there by the Gold Coast, and they needed that midway through this set. Now Savage showing it. Simple stuff again. Takes a long time to give the playmakers a chance sometimes in attack for the Bulldogs. Marnie finds Burton now. He just takes it to the line himself. Again, just one out stuff. They've got one last play. Hutchison, kick out wide. Crichton is the target. Just put it in. Knocked backwards by the Gold Coast and taken dead by Brimson. It will be a goal line dropout.
Yeah, he's the man to go to, the target man. Crichton, we know how good he is in the air. He's just stealing the ball out of Taft's own hands. Marches upfield. Lucky Tanner Boyd was there to make that tackle. Stephen Crichton was away. On the back end of it, the target again. They'll get the football back. Starting to mount a bit of pressure now, the Dogs.
Boyd going short from the breeze there. Didn't have enough time to get through for Chris Randall to make a contest of it. Taff ends up with it. Here in attack. Didn't throw a lot of questions at the Gold Coast in that previous set as Marnie waits, comes to stops and then gets going. Almost tries to slide his way in between Randall and Fodawaker. They'd love to grab a try and break a drought in game number 100. Only a couple of metres out. Here's Hutchinson taking them on and losing it. Again, it was simple stuff, mostly through that middle of the field. One out running. That time it's Hutchison. Gold Coast hang on.
Yeah, defensively, Gold Coast continue to hang on. It was Hutchison off that right foot. Great contact. He's been strong. Randall through the middle. There's Phil Sami now shrugging, trying to beat a few defenders, and we've got a Gold Coast player who's, is it Keanu Kinney, who's down, struggling to get to his feet.
Randall's in the back play too, just getting to his feet, having a drink now.
They've got an issue here on several fronts, the Gold Coast. Really holding Keanu Kinney. Randall getting himself... Chris Randall, Sam Verrills is out there now in the dummy half roll. So it goes to Boyd, just outside the 40. Randall remains on the field, in fact, so we've got Verrills and Randall on the field at the same time. And it was Jamin Jolliffe who's come from the field for the Gold Coast. So a small look in some ways through the middle here for the Titans, with Randall playing now as the lock forward. Wilson, all flagged for Taff. Red here, Crichton comes across the face. In fact, it was Burton with the black headgear. Now Martin heads towards the middle of the field. From left, they come back to the middle. They've gained only about 10 or so on almost 3 tackles down the goal until Hutchison gets them going in the right direction.
Tackle someone without the
It's
ball,
almost
mate.
like the halfback plays as a
Not quick, no, you're off the mark, it's back in.
to the Bulldogs, and a bit of a mix-up. Where's Reid Marnie?
Hey, Dogs, you've got the penalty. Let it go.
Very late to the scene there. Boy, he was in every little flare-up last week against the Sharks.
Yeah, this time it was Jamin Salmon. There's been a little running battle out there with Chris Randall and Blake Tapp, and you can see there Randall cleaning up Tapp on the inside as he pushed through in that support role and just took him out of play, and then Salmon, having none of it, comes in. Takes a dislike into Randall. All of a sudden now the Dogs, boy, they had some possession, haven't they, down inside Gold Coast field. Feels like the Gold Coast haven't been up there all half.
Now it's Preston here, just outside the 20 to get this set of 6 underway. Marnie. Towards Verrills and also Randall, the 2 dummy halves. Combined there to make the tackle. Salmon goes to Hutchison. Tip on by Crichton. Tracy dances away from the sideline.
Okay, tackle.
Some stopping as well. Crichton will feed it from dummy half. But on the bounce. Comes back to King. Good tackle by Randall. Underneath and takes him to the turf heavily. Marnie finds Salmon. Here's Hutchison again. Tap the tip on. Likewise, Perez. Wilson up against the sideline. He keeps it in play, and they do have one more tackle. Hutchison puts his hand up, says, I'll put a kick in. And with the left boot, lofts it for Crichton, who is there. Juggle. He knocked it forward.
Knock on Stephen.
There'll be a knock on
First backwards
in
tight ends,
goal.
then knock on you, Stephen.
And it should be a restart from the 20.
You just have a look at the bunching of the Titans at the moment. Hands on hips, all on their knees. They get the restart here straight away, but there's not that much enthusiasm here. They look out on their feet, the Titans.
A couple of good kicks now from Hutchison, close to the goal line. No doubt, Crichton the target. And on top of AJ Brimson, as we see a penalty and a relieving one. Boy, they needed this, the Titans. Curran spending a little too long in the tackle for Todd Smith's liking. And the referee giving the Gold Coast an opportunity just to catch their breath. Look at them. They're still on their horses. Tanner Boyd kicks for touch.
so much possession, the Bulldogs. 18 sets, they've completed 15 of them. The Titans lost 10 from 13. And the Bulldogs were 61% of the ball. Aaron Clark out there for Wharewaker. Panasia likewise for Whangasua Mala'awi as Boyd goes forward. A hospital pass, now a collision between Kinney and Kelly. What is happening on that left edge for the Gold Coast?
Well, the Gold Coast strength coming in this afternoon is their forward pack and the speed on out wide with Carm Pereira and Phil Sami, but at the moment they're just taking shortcuts as we see Kurt Mann about to come into the game for the first time this afternoon. That's the way forward. Aaron Clark just pinning the ears and going forward.
There's the strength of his game. So his legs going and going straight and hard. 4 in here, wrapped up at the halfway line. So set off the back of the penalty. Then he picked up 15 metres, and now they'll hang another kick in the breeze. Pressure on Tracy this time. They'll be relieved as a bit of crowd cover for the moment. Taff and also Wilson in particular can dispense with the sunglasses, and Burton from dummy half will find Wilson as the Dogs work it away from the 30. And the Gold Coast Titans to this point of the game have had the one chance inside the 20. The other end, this end of the field is Perez pokes his nose through the line. It has been all the Dogs, and they've got the breeze, but still they lead just 6 points to 0. Kurt Mann gets his first touch after coming into the game there for Jamin Salmon. Comes to Hutchison, got Preston on his hip. Takes the tackle again, the halfback. On the last, takes him out of the equation. We've got Burton, Crichton. They're not really contesting this one. Sami ends up making the catch, and they were happy to let him do so. They'll make the Titans work it away from their own line.
Yeah, sorry, just moving Josh Curran into the middle of the field. You could see just how direct and deep into the line he played there. That created a chance for Hutchison. Jamin Salmon played that middle service player throughout the opening part of the game, and just releasing the ball too early. You're right, the Gold Coast, they handled it defensively very easy, but that from Curran was very good.
Yeah, the other thing too is Hutchison digging into the line. It's good, but he just hasn't got the pace to get on the outside of his man. He's done it well. Just needs to get that. He just needs to break one tackle and we'll be straight through. Thinking there too, couldn't you, kick out? There was no one within cooee of him, 20 metres, but still, you can see him thinking, will I pick it up? Will I scoop it up? Will I take my time? Kick out gets the try, the charge down. The Doggies are in again. Just watch this, right straight away from the charge down. Kick out chases through. Look at him here. What do I do here? Bounce up for me. Bounce up, stop. Gets it in the end, trips over the line.
Yeah, what an athlete, what a player, and an effort player. It's warm conditions at ground level, and half an hour into the contest, he's got through a lot of work, Viliami kick out, and on the Harvey Norman replay, he scoops it up beautifully, showed great patience, and comes up with a huge play. Doesn't matter how you get them. When you're struggling and you haven't won the opening 2 games, you've got to find a way to fight, scrap. And he's doing just that, leading the way. Viliami kick out for the Dogs.
He's always had that ability, that height and that reach. Very ball at the net as the arms extended, knocks down kicks from halfbacks and 5/8. He scored once again, this time for the Bulldogs to make it 10 points to 0 with Burton here to put them out to a dozen to the good. With half an hour gone, now the scoreboard more reflecting the dominance they've had as far as field position is concerned. Taking his time, and he sticks it over the black dot. The Dogs and the Titans 12 points to 0.
No good to be sidelined and see the hill and the grandstand stand as one, as Viliami Kikau had all the time in the world to wait for that bouncing ball, pick it up cleanly and go in to score. He had an eternity, but he did it right. He scores his first try of the season and only his second as a Bulldog. And you know who enjoyed it? The railway workers. I don't know whether they're on smoko. There's not a lot of track maintenance being done right now, Mick. It's good to be a railway worker when a game's on at Belmore.
I reckon you should go and collect the cabbage off them too. Free admission.
The workers are on the railway tracks and not the trains. A real feature of seeing the 4:15 going to Central. We won't get that this afternoon. There now for Cameron Serraldo. The Bulldogs have 12-0 lead. Good crowd here on a Saturday afternoon. Super Saturday will take us to Congress beyond this game. Dragons versus Cowboys. And then the Tigers at home at Leica. For the first time in 2024.
Great carry in between defenders. And this man's been a difference. The bench of the Bulldogs for Cameron Serraldo making a real difference. Current man been terrific since coming up.
Hutchison puts it in the air. The ball coming across. Oh boy, he got hit heavily. It was all clean and legal from Jacob Preston, or no on advice, perhaps from the sideline official. There's been some high contact.
Gee, it's hard to pull out of that tackle when you're running so fast. Look, he slips at the last second here. Gee, that's a tough penalty. You're not allowed to do that, but he's falling down.
Chest and shoulder contact with the head there block, unfortunately, for Jacob Preston. You've got to love his intent. It was great effort down there on the kick chase line. You could just see the sweat beads come flying off in contact there. It was high, and they've had some opportunities to get out of their own half. They just, they are out on their feet physically, aren't they?
Yeah, they've looked flat. Well, the opportunity to score that try when they the first one, they've looked very flat.
And on this left-hand side, finally Kinney, who's run off that knock to the leg, which really had him inconvenienced earlier in the half, although his coach was there for a moment, having played the ball. Keenan Palacia. The pickups for the Titans. Fillmore, who on a lovely line on that left edge. His combination with Forum. For them this season, if they can get it going, they're battling for points. Tracy was flying for the Bulldogs, came backwards off him. Taff with his speed brings it back to the field of play. That was very clever work by the Bulldogs fullback.
Yeah, fantastic. I thought he was better last week by Taff. 140-odd metres carrying the ball. That was important for his side there. They've worked hard to maintain the scoreline and the dominance in this opening half, and cleaning up the scraps in the end goal. Beautiful to get out.
Yeah, again, the Titans stopped. They thought the play was over. Taft didn't. That's a brilliant play. Rather than giving the ball back to the Titans, he's made 15 metres upfield.
Curtis Moran.
All good.
Marnie here kicking from inside the 30. Might have the angle on the kick. Certainly the depth there with the breeze pushing it towards the railway line as Kinney steps his way back towards the middle, backed up by Carroll. They turn them around again.
Great. It's a great mindset from the ground level. You've spoken about the conditions on this all day, but the Titans still now struggling to get back on side. Palacia, Verrills, struggling to get back.
Almost back at the halfway line. He does. That was an awful pass from Sam Verrills. With Boyd under pressure, it was out in front of him. And Boyd gives Verrills a bit of a break through his crop.
Yeah, well, that goes too far. It was a horrible pass, but I reckon he can hear the footsteps. What's Viliami Kikau here? Oh, coming to get you, boy.
Yeah, he certainly put a radar on Boyd, but you're right, Warren. That's fatigue. Verrills and Des Hasler there will not be pleased with some of the efforts at the moment from his sides. Under pressure, under fatigue. He was slow to get the dummy half and get back on side, and then comes up with a crucial error 4.5 minutes before half-time.
You wonder, the start of the season they've had, they played the pre-season challenge, had a week off, played round one, then had another week off. Round It's their second game in a month. Yeah. Not much football time for these Gold Coast Titans. They might be going. Here's Perez trying to expose them. Goes to Curtis Moran. He takes it inside the 20. On an opportunity here for the Bulldogs just before the break. Man at the line. So Kane go through. Decides to come back to this right-hand side where Moran is there once again. Kick out, waiting for a chance on the left edge. Comes towards him now. Hutchison for a kick out up against Tanner. Good tackle by the halfback. Some help there from Haas. Marnie floating sideways. Nothing doing for Hutchison. So again at the back end of the set, it's the halfback who gets tackled less than 10 metres out from the line. It happens a lot. Marnie, Burton here at the back. Taff getting a chance, but there was nothing doing there, so he hands it off to Perez. He runs, Crichton pushing through. Brimson under pressure to bring it back. He won't. They trap him. 6 more for the Dogs.
You can see him calling for that kick there too. Stephen Crichton just in and behind them. And had to take a pace man to clean up at the back there for the Titans in Brimson. Good contest. He had his hand up, put the kick in.
That's some nice moments. Perez, hasn't he, in the first half? Earlier in the set, got a lovely offload. Around the corner it was to Curtis Moran for a line break. And lovely little kick across for the centre partner. And the effort of Kurt Mann since coming onto the field has really lifted the energy. When Canterbury needed to change a few gears, he certainly helped them.
Boy going short again, better hang time on this one. Between the Dogs and the Titans, Wilson ends up with it. It was a touch backwards, said the referee. So a full set here again, inside the 20.
Points here would be huge. A try here for Canterbury on the stroke of half-time would be huge.
It's Mark. Across here to Moran, doing some stepping in the middle of the field and taking some stopping as well. Doodle there, Foran staying in his line, not coming out to try and force the issue. Got some help from the inside from Verrills. They've got 2 plays remaining in this set. Marnie at first receiver. Comes through Mann. Kick out, tipping it on. Tracy with blue jumpers in front of him goes to ground. And here's the last. Crichton. Will feed it back to Burton. Try and judge the wind here, bending towards the in-goal area and beyond. Sometimes the bombs aren't the strong suit of Matt Burton's kicking game, and it proves to be the way once again.
Yeah, that breeze certainly in the first half has got stiffer, and just off the left boot you could see it start to angle a little right to left, and by the time the wind got up, it went towards the dead ball on a relieving end of set for the Gold Coast side, who have been under huge pressure this first half. I think he'd be disappointed at the 12-0, but he'd know that it could be significantly more block.
Yeah, it should be more. We saw them last week. They should have went in 18 points to 6. Unfortunately, they couldn't score that time. The wind just got hold of that football.
By Perez. And there are tackles to burn here for the Bulldogs. This time, Wilson stepping in behind Taff. Play on for the moment. Wilson still going. Now it's called back for the obstruction.
Run around him, taking advantage. Not quick on a change of possession.
What a chance presented by a malfunctioning Gold Coast attack.
They've looked good at times, that right edge of the Dogs, and there's no doubt about it, they're running in behind. There's a Blake Taff that was pushing through. And Todd Smith, chip over the top here.
Kelly is there, so is Jacob Preston, and the Bulldogs will end up with it in their hands. And it wasn't a classic 40 minutes of rugby league, but the Bulldogs, they won't care because they've got the lead quite considerably. Going to the halftime break, it's 12 points to 0. The Bulldogs over the Titans here. The sun breaking out once again. Good crowd in attendance.
They set them a long way to winning their first game of the season.
Very strong behind the
Burton with the restart here. Garcia who will bring it out for the Gold Coast Titans. We're underway in this second half as Verrills from dummy half. Let's see how long it is before they decide to kick in this opening set. They go whirling and turn the Bulldogs around and camp them at the northern end of the Old Belmore Sports Ground as the Titans were camped in the first half. A big discrepancy in possession in that first four. Coming back to the middle. That's up there with Fowler Waker. The playing factor was Aaron Clark as Verrills dummy half runs towards Hutchison. Curran was also there with Carraz, and the Gold Coast with one more. And charge down this time. And it's a deep kick with plenty of hang time all the way down to Blake Taff, who battled with the sun in the first half. He won't have that issue here in the second half, especially now there's a bit of cloud cover as well in the inner western suburbs of Sydney. Tracy just outside the 20. Crichton, strong carry here. A round of applause from the home fans, the new captain. Kurt Mann works it back towards the halfway line in this first set for the Bulldogs in the second half. Hart runs at Randall there, accommodates him. Verrills again, that combination. Combining for the Gold Coast as Burton cleared out kicking, decides to run and then Crichton laps it into the air. Kinney started underneath it. Burton is there. It's put down by Kinney. Zach Griffiths. He slides in to score. And the Bulldogs have more points. Ball hanging on the breeze made it awkward there for Kinney, who's giving away plenty of height to Matt Burton. We know he's the leaper, and unless the replay shows something different, the Bulldogs extend this margin to 16.
Yeah, the former Panther connection here. Great work from Matt Burton. Feinted kick, lovely long ball out to Crichton, who shows his skill, kicks back infield nice and high. And Burton never gave up on it, eyes only for the footy. Goes up into the contest. Kinney unable to come down with the ball. Josh Curran, what a difference he's made this afternoon. And the Dogs just simply getting more numbers around the footy, out competing them. Oh, does he get a touch there, Matt Burton? I think they'll look at this, but Curran certainly gets to the line with momentum. If there's no problems with the way the ball's travelled here from Burton.
Well, I think the ball's gone back if it doesn't go anywhere. So the crowd's on their feet knowing that the ball might have gone back here. You're right, Curran's had a wonderful game off the bench here this afternoon.
As he knocked the ball there into Kinney. Matt Burton. Great to see the way they're competing though. Canterbury. Numbers around the ball.
Do you reckon he knocks it into his own face and goes back?
Couldn't see a touch from Kinney, but
Tries under review.
Yes, is going to take a few more looks at this. It is a very tight call.
Matt Burton is in front of the ball here. At the point here, he becomes an obstruction and he is not a support player. There'll be a penalty to the Gold Coast Titans.
He can't just disappear.
No, but you also can't impede the defender. Brimson not entitled to a shot there to make the tackle, and he would have been a factor in stopping Curran, who only just bounced into the in goal.
Yeah, feel for Burton there. I'm not sure he was actually aware even where AJ Brimson was. You're right, Warren. He certainly does block Brimson from the ability to get into that tackle on Curran. I don't think it was deliberate by any means, and an unfortunate one for Burton. And plus to start from Desi Hasler's men here, the Titans, and almost conceding points in the opening minutes of this second half. They get out of jail. Can they respond to it? They're getting monstered physically this afternoon.
They're playing here just inside there. Not getting going again. Curtis Moran's been good off the bench on either side of the ball. Verrills forward. Randall, who's out here on this left-hand side for the moment, playing just inside Bo Furmore. It's intriguing, isn't it? Now Boyd takes it across the halfway line. 4 plays gone in this set. The starting dummy half, and he's back at the same time. And doing this rolls. Across the floor. in the air. Tap was backpedaling. Kelly got a touch on it by the looks of things, Karen Pereira, and it was in fact touched by Kelly in that initial contest in the air.
Yeah, not a bad spot for the Gold Coast. They had a turnover possession 10 metres out from the Dogs' line. And again, Taft's the target. When they've had opportunities, and they've landed it right on top of him, and Kelly that time just unable to come down with the footy. The Gold Coast, they need to change some gears here. They're just looking so fatigued this afternoon.
The only man that looks like he's going to do something for the Titans is Aaron Clark. He's come off the bench, a little bit of short ball, got good footwork. They need to get up around him.
Now Tracy takes his nose through the line there, taken down desperately by Clark and Boyd. Burton runs across to Cromartin, still going in the back inside of Titans territory. Going for the restart. Big meters here. Burton punching the back of his head off the back of that tackle. His man goes inside the 40. They're set for a shift here on the right-hand side. Hutchison is waiting for it, takes on the line again, and again it's play 5. It is a curious tactic how many times he gets tackled on play number 5. The halfback, it's man. Now to Burton. Kicks again. Good reflexes there by Philip Sami to reel that in from close range and not knock the ball on.
He's been very quiet this afternoon. You mentioned Phil Sami, often carrying the ball well in excess of 100 or so metres.
Spread by the Titans inside their own 20. They get up in the face of Kelly there. Good tackle made by Jacob Carraz. Now Fermor as we go downstairs to Matt Russell.
Let's start with the team in possession when it comes to the halftime report. Des Hasler's men have scored just 4 points in more than 2 hours of NRL this season. He said changing that starts with possession zone, completion, territory and patience in attack. When it comes to Canterbury, Cameron Ciraldo delighted. He loved the control and he loved that even more, my friends. And then Canterbury take a breath and they go straight back on the attack.
The imposing side of Viliame kick out. He's causing nightmares for Tanner Boyd. He put that one down cold. He looked up and saw kick out right there in his windshield. With the points in this second half, tonight a moment to go from man to Hutchison. Here's kick out. Almost going all the way. Step through the tackle there of Randall. And the tackles to play with here. Burton comes out the back to Taft. Good to see him getting an early chance in the set with a touch in close range. Doesn't happen a lot, or maybe often enough. Marnie, short ball here. Aaron trying to hit and spin. They stop him, only a metre out. Another set of 6. And restart as Marnie goes from dummy half. It looked like he got the ball down, and the referee Tom Smith agrees. Reed Marnie undoes them. 2 restarts in this one possession, and it all began with kick out, forcing the mistake by Tanner Boyd. Yeah,
they've moved the ball a lot to that left-hand side this afternoon, and the Gold Coast Titans just lacking concentration. All started with Tanner Boyd on the last play. Oh, he looked terrified, to be honest, of the footsteps and the noise of kick-out prowling down on him, and he just spilled his lollies. And the Bulldogs close to the line on the back of a set restart. Marnie just leaning off that left foot, caught Kinney one-on-one close to the line, burrowed low, and drives towards the try line. And no problems there for the Bulldogs dummy half. A great reward. He's been busy again this afternoon.
Yeah, I know he's a niggling little fella, but you've got to admire him, the way that he goes out week in and week out. You just have a look at him. He looked up and he's seen Kenny there, nearly the smallest bloke on the field, and says, you know what, I'm going to take you on. And that try will launch into something as his career goes on, be from 25, 30 metres out with a chip over the top or something.
Gee, what about the vision there of Tanner Boyd? Kick out, just breathing down on him.
What about the rule change that means you can't put blockers in front of the kicker to help stop Viliame kick out coming through and putting pressure on the kicker, as we've seen twice here today. Burton with the conversion, and with 8 gone in this second half. It's the Bulldogs 18 who lead the Titans 0.
Cameron Ciraldo was happy at halftime. He'll be delighted with this. He spoke about the Canterbury defence. Here's the try from Marnie, but in the first half they conceded just 35 metres per set, and right here the defence forced a turnover from the Titans early in the second half. He said, get the ball to Viliami Kikau early. That worked in the first half. Sure enough, a burst here set up the try for Marnie. He said, when we get back-to-back sets, we look really, really good. I love your control, and it's only got better since half-time there.
That it has. They've been across the line twice. Green lights second time around. Curtis Long will step there as he came across the goal line to bring it out. Met by a strong stop by Fermor and also Clark.
Interesting period here for the Gold Coast Titans. Only able to score 4 points in their opening game. And you've got AJ Brimson, who is such a strike weapon, just sitting out there at right centre. I'd be moving him to fullback. I'd be getting his hands on the ball if there are any chance of causing some disruption to the Dogs. We've got to see more from Brimson.
One player we haven't seen at all so far for the Gold Coast Titans is Isaac Liu, as the Bulldogs make an error and give the Gold Coast a chance, a rare chance.
You're right, Mick. Put him back at fullback. You've got to run the ball there.
Yeah.
You can't sit out on an edge. Kick returns. You've got to start the set off
Captain
well.
charge from the Bulldogs.
Get a lot more hands
On field,
on
he's
the
got a loose
football.
carry.
And the Dogs going to challenge this.
Kieran Foran saying you've got a loose carry, so we're about to find out.
Let's take a look and see if Randall helps it away. What we've seen there, couldn't say that was a classic strip by any stretch.
Well, he's been everywhere, hasn't he, Randall? He's been in everything for the Titans.
Chris Randall is looking to just wrap the ball up. The ball is lost. The challenge by the Bulldogs is unsuccessful.
All right, well, somehow they've got to get an injection of AJ Brimson here. Too good just to be sitting out there. Only 7 times he's touched the ball this afternoon.
Well, the other thing is you're as good as the players that are getting you the ball. They haven't completed any sort of sets.
No, that's a great point.
No momentum through the middle.
Head in, Billy. Come on, mate. Time on. Okay, ball, Kieran. Put it in.
Foran with the scrum feed. Boyd. It's Brimson. It's Kenny. Doing some dancing, but stopped 30 out from the Bulldogs line. Kelly comes back to the middle. Alasia trying to force his way through the front line of defence. Not much happening in that particular play. Verrills now. Clark. 6 more tackles here for the Gold Coast. Bulldogs up off their line too quickly. They haven't had many chances, have they? Inside the 20. Now just 8 for the game. Foran coming out the back, mistiming there on the pass. Maybe a little ring rust for Kieran Foran, playing his first football for 2024. Here he is again, linking up with Falacia. Midway through this restarted set, Verrills. For Clark, out the back is Boyd, comes across to Brimson. Clark forces him back towards the middle, then he puts in an ad-lib kick. Pressure here on Carraz, who does well. He's got speed and he's got footwork to match it, and it comes back to him to the field of play. And Des Hasler watching on. I know he's got options, of course, in the fullback role. I guess he's put Brimson back there, knowing that Jaden Campbell returns to football this afternoon, playing for the Tweed Seagulls against Burleigh in the Queensland Cup, and he thinks, well, at the point putting Brimson to fullback because Campbell might be back as early as next week.
Well, at the moment, they can't find any points. 4 points against the Dragons a fortnight ago, and AJ Brimson has just this incredible knack of being able to create things, sometimes when there's just nothing on.
What a kick by Burton there, down the short side. He punched that into the breeze. Plenty of metres. Kikau is feasting here this afternoon. Sami wants to play it quickly. A good thing he was held onto by Kikau. Otherwise, there was nobody there at dummy half for the Gold Coast Titans.
It just shows his will to win, doesn't it? Kikau trying to get the Dogs their first win. He's been the best player quite comfortably out there this afternoon. Leading from the front. He's been outstanding.
Isaac Liu now out there for Des Hasler and the Gold Coast Titans.
So Isaac, the best part of 51 minutes to get a touch, and here he is playing it quickly as well. There's Boyd, the kick. Down towards the wing of Connor Tracy, floating back inside the 10, just to the breeze. Walls remains on the field. And switch made with Isaac Liu coming on. Here is Verrills up around the shoulders, maybe beyond. The referee says no, and it's play on. The Dogs to work it away. 20 short of the halfway line. Hughes is out there now, big rangy middle forward. Marnie points to the right-hand side, trying to fool the Titans by ducking out to the left. Working hard for a marker was Beau Fermor. What a piece of him there. Taff comes back to Burton. He puts it in the air, and we go down to Kinney. Kickow is quick getting down there this time, but his effort levels have been enormous on that left edge.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. So too, Stephen Crichton. That combination on that left-hand side, chasing the Burton kick, has been sensational this afternoon.
Yeah, look, and they spooked AJ Brimson a couple of times too. Those two guys on the left, Brimson playing on the right for the Titans. Hardly seen him. We know what a great defensive centre Crichton is. Doesn't have many opportunities. Brimson for the Titans.
Now get up! Josh Unhold.
He's out there waiting for a chance at the moment. On the other side of the field, Fermor takes it across the halfway line. And we need results. Down by 18 points to nil. Still minutes remaining, but Boyd, well, he is just rattled at the moment. They came up quickly. They realise they've got a halfback here. He's saying, what can I do? But the Bulldogs, under the new interpretation, of course, with no blockers there to try and impede those charging through, Tanner Boyd is a sitting duck.
Yeah, they are absolutely torturing Tanner Boyd this afternoon. If it's not kick out, it's Reed Marnie, Kurt Mann. That time Curran assisting. It's just been absolutely relentless. Look at this from Curran in the face of Keanu Kinney. And the Dogs with the foot on the throat here.
Almost stepping into the backfield. Try here or make it almost impossible for the Gold Coast. Man to the line. Comes to Hutchison. Kick out. Digging into the line. They get numbers there in the tackle. Liu and also Haas. 15 out though. Three plays gone. Burden. There's Taff again. Getting involved this week in attack. And to great effect. Perez just kept going in the tackle. Second time Blake Taff has put somebody in on that right edge in this game, and it's Jacob Carraz. Had a name for himself as a live wire winger, and now a centre on this right edge for the Bulldogs, and he makes it 22-0.
Well, they just got too many goals for the Titans. Just blokes that are willing to roll their sleeves up. We were talking a little bit earlier about Carraz's defence in this game. Always on the ball, energetic. This time he gets the football out the back. There's nothing doing here. This is how tired the Gold Coast defence is. There's 2-3 in the tackle, Foran falls off. Carraz scores just through determination.
Yeah, he's had some lovely moments this afternoon, Jacob Carraz, particularly with his defensive reads, but a nice move there on Brian Kelly. Just too strong for Foran, and in the end he just wheelbarrows Brian Kelly over the try line into the southern corner. And doesn't he love it? He's a real fan favourite here at Belmore Oval. Marnie out of dummy half against being active. Great to see Burton come from that left-hand side to the right to link up with Taff. And finding a real home at right centre. Just too strong, Carraz. Defensively poor, the Titans. And we saw it a fortnight ago at home where the Dragons really put the foot down on the Titans in the second half. Cameron Ciraldo. Well, he's enjoying this afternoon. Really enjoying it. As Des Hasler, not so much.
Now Burton. Breeze into his face on this western touchline, trying to make it 24 points to nil, having scored 8 points and 6 points respectively in their first two games. The Bulldogs busting out here this afternoon. This one pushed by the breeze will fade away to the left-hand side and stays at 22 points to nil.
He gives them great backline versatility, doesn't he? Jacob Kiro's doing really well as a centre. You mentioned it. Wallace does well on a wing. Some have said, how will he go at fullback? Well, right now he's making the right centre position his own. And yep, 14 points through 2 rounds. Canterbury's lowest haul to start a season since the year 2000. They've exploded back today, 22-0. That will please the host of NRL 360. Catch it on Monday from 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Grayson Astor, Paul Kent, Gordon Tallison, Phil Rothfield.
Oh, boy.
And the Titans decide to go short. Their kicking was just evaporating before their
got a handover.
There'll be a changeover.
Play the ball
there.
here. Play the ball there.
Curious that you can go short, and as long as it's a contest, you don't give away a penalty, but that's not a contest because it didn't go tense. I still think, there's some tweaks to be made to that. Anyway, doesn't matter, I guess, when you're trailing 22 points to 0. Des Hasler, he is ruminating at the moment about what he's got ahead of him as the Gold Coast Titans face the Dolphins next week, the Cowboys beyond that, and then Canberra on the road as well. So tough ones coming up quite obviously. There are no easy games, we know, in the NRL, especially with the salary cap and the evenness of the competition here in 2024. Lots of problems for the Gold Coast. They get Jaden Campbell potentially back next week. David Fafita, he's a big one, also very close to coming back. They've got some work to do quite obviously. Curran
Been terrific. Josh Curran, terrific this afternoon for Canterbury.
Every man comes to Hutchison. Bulldogs on that left edge again, working it towards Stephen Crichton. Let's talk about moving him to fullback from the fans. It's okay this afternoon, though, the way it's worked out, hasn't it? Here's Hughes on the last half, under pressure. Does very well there. Kicks out wide to Wilson. Puts a second kick in. It's a souvenir for somebody there on the terraces.
Well, the good thing about it is they're keeping at it, the Bulldogs. Keep playing football. They've got the Titans on the rack at the moment. Not the great end of that set, but they're asking questions every time they've got the ball.
Cut, move! Like a square.
From their own 30, Verrills across to Brimson.
He's so much more than a yardage player, AJ Brimson.
Get up!
Isaac Liu, who is fresh on the field. Damon Jolliffe is back out there now as well. It was curious that it was Brimson taking the second carry from the restart at the 20. And now, boy, they are just unravelling here, the Gold Coast, giving it straight back to the Bulldogs.
Well, that's what happens when you start to chase points and the clock's starting to tick down. Try and throw the miracle balls. Put them right in a great position now, the Dogs.
Preston, who got the point scoring going when he scored back in the 18th minute. Man, he is inside the 30. They want to go on with the job here. For and against will be important, as always, the back end of the season. Gets a ground to make up the Bulldogs. Crichton, Tracy had a knee on the line, it looked like, before he put the ball down.
Okay, coming in to tackle. Okay, coming to tackle 4. Have no try, mate. Should view the touchline.
Yeah, it was nice work down that left-hand side again, where they've looked their most dangerous this afternoon. Tracy on the outside of Crichton. Great covering tackle there from Phil Sami. Does he keep his legs in the air? No, you're right. I think
Connor Tracy's knee is in touch. We have a decision.
Yeah.
Tino, we're on the play ball, mate.
Sami did well too to recover and make that tackle after Tracy. He's got plenty of pace. Got on the outside.
20, mate.
It's a good tackle.
Play the ball here. Play the ball.
It's a one to save a little bit more embarrassment, that tackle.
Speaking of embarrassment, it's important what happens here for the Gold Coast Titans in the remaining 21.5 minutes of this game. They need to, if the game is gone at 22 points to 0, and while there's still a chance, and we've seen some crazy things happen in the NRL, they just need to get back to basics here and get through some sets and build on what they worked on quite obviously with Des Hasler in the off-season. Strong charge here. Tino Fa'asuamaleaui back on field, brings it back within 10 of the halfway line. Boyd still being terrorised by Viliami Kikau. That's cool. He will have nightmares about Big Bill. Liu pass goes to ground. He hangs on to it though, under pressure from Hutchison. It's costly momentum in this set. Chip over the top. Kinney is there. They tried everything to their kicking game, and nothing is working.
Yeah, he's got great pace, Keanu Kinney and Kieran Foran just testing the waters there, seeing if Canterbury were just going to knock off, but Karaz has been terrific in all those effort areas. Positioned himself just behind the defensive line. And as the Dogs now looking to move the ball out to this left-hand side again.
Kick out. Finds Crichton stepping into space. Tracy back on the inside, comes a long way over the top to the middle. Hutchison, another rainbow ball. Karaz, Wilson up against Khan Pereira. It takes him to ground. Foran helps stop him there, just outside the 10. Karaz, go a long way to Hutchison. They're flat through the middle here. Hughes will give them a bit of forward momentum to take it towards the 10. The chant goes up at Belmore. It's man finding Hutchison. Burton, kick out wide, gives it to Tracy. This time he's in. What rugby league in 2024. Today at least, the Bulldogs are the entertainers once again.
Yeah, Bill Kickow again. Billy Army is having an absolute field day out on that left-hand side this afternoon. The combination between Kickow, Burton, Crichton, well, this is what they brought them to the club for. And they have been superb. Marning, lovely long pass. Man does well to get the ball. So too Hutchison, straight into the hands of Burton. Kickow out the back of some shape. And the pass round the corner, absolutely brilliant from Kickow. Watch this, catches in one hand, slips it to Tracy. He's had a good afternoon too. And Connor Tracy, well, when they told him he was playing on the wing, and they said, we're going to put you on the left side outside of Kickow and Crichton. He said, that'll do.
He said, thank you very much. If you have a look at Kickow running the ball now, what he does, because he's such a big man, he gets the players on the outside interested to come in to make the tackle. Exactly what happened there. Just coming a little bit in field there, Sami it was. And as you said, Connor Tracy, what a finish. Got pulled up only a couple of minutes ago, but not this time.
Did well to position his body on that replay, didn't he? Because Sami was coming across again. Did well to get the ball down just inside the dead ball line.
And a lot of work to do there in the former Shark and Rabbitoh. A long time to catch on in the NRL, given all the knee injuries he's had and the 3 ACL tears. Very good value for the Bulldogs here on the wing so far today.
Well, the crowd's getting rowdier and rowdier as the afternoon goes on. If he can kick this Burton from the sideline.
Is there a Josh Reynolds type invasion coming? Rarefied air for the Bulldogs, who have before today a record win of 24 points against the Gold Coast Titans back in 2007. Burton here. Again, the breeze hurting him there on the conversion attempt, but he's smiling because they lead 26 points to nil. They've come in good numbers here once again. It is NRL multicultural round, recognising and celebrating the diverse backgrounds that make this great game the greatest game for all. Players, fans, staff and volunteers from so many backgrounds across the NRL. Thanks for what you do. Celebrate your culture, learn about others as well, and stay stronger together. That's the message from the NRL here in round 3. This young man will put on a show today. Here's Perez starting off the show. He gets a standing ovation for that catch. They are lapping this up. The famous old grandstand here at Belmore. The noise really reverberates around this place, Mick, as you know well.
Oh, yeah. They are just starting to find their sweet spot this afternoon, this crowd. As 26-0, why wouldn't they be enjoying it?
Here's Marnie showing it. He's into the backfield. Taff is there. He'll run away and score. It's a Bulldogs blitz. Belmore is rocking and rolling. They're almost into the stands. Goes through the middle. Taff, like Terry Lamb, pushing up in support. He scores. Rick Marnie, he's channeling Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, absolutely. Jumping the back fence, and why wouldn't he? This is brilliant work from Marnie. One of his strengths out of dummy half. Look how straight he plays this time. Straight through the middle of the markers. Finds Blake Taff, who is a wonderful effort player. Pushing in support, always does. But Marnie out of dummy half, and Verrills there just over chasing. Firma caught flat-footed. Brilliant from Marnie.
Well, I was going to say that'll make it even better, won't it? Verrills just overread it up against the opposition hooker, straight through. Marnie goes. Well done. Good anticipation from Taff. Once he got the football, it was all over.
And straight into the grandstand, Rudy Marnie. Well, he's had a great afternoon. He scored a try to start the second half, and it was an important one to extend their dominance in possession to an 18-0 lead, and this time they are really starting to extend the scoreboard pressure here on the Titans, and it was great work from Marnie out of dummy half, nice and direct, sliced straight through them.
I just reckon the coach Seraldo too he said he'd worked on defence. There's the goal kick straight over, saying that he would have worked on defence all week. 0 score line to the Titans. That'll please him just as much as the score.
The crowd likes it too, Blocker. Blake Taff, he's had some tough moments in the first couple of rounds since joining Canterbury from South Sydney. Here he is racing away off his number 9 to score a skip in his step. And speaking of South Sydney, let's jump forward to next week. Good Friday. We get to see an increasingly confident Cameron Seraldo and the Bulldogs against a down on confidence South Sydney, the NRL crisis club at the moment. What a talking point that will be this week. The Dogs against the Rabbitohs on Good Friday.
At Accor Stadium. That will be a massive
Look at this.
Shelling poos. He's auditioning for a game in the NBA.
Oh, the grandstand just rises every time Perez touches the footy at the moment.
I'll be sending a message out. Kick it the other side, will you?
Boy, he's banging the boards, bringing down rebounds, sending the crowds wild here at Belmore Sports Ground. Unbelievable. For kick out. I think it's fair to say his best game since linking with the Bulldogs.
Well, it was important because there were some really good moments on that left-hand side in particular last week, and it was important that they backed it up. They've done it tremendously. Burton kick out, Crichton, here we go again.
Put it in the air, Kinney under pressure here. Coming on top of him, Tracy will make the tackle, and the Titans to begin from just inside their 10. Really hard to predict which way this game would go before kickoff this afternoon. You make a case for both teams, of course, winless, both of them coming into the game, but to see this score of 32 points to nil.
Time off.
When
tackle 3, tackle's complete 3. Sorry, have a look at the leg action, mate. No, I call it tackle's complete now.
Touches at a lower leg. Well, this would be the ultimate.
They're just going to check the leg contact here.
I'm okay with the initial part.
Just unfortunate there. Looked like King got the bumper bars and slid down into the legs there, trying to hold on.
Yeah, it's fine.
And he just gets twisted awkwardly by Preston over the top. Gee, they can't afford to lose Tino. I mean, you mentioned the hope for the Titans, given how poor they've been the first 2 matches this year, is the return of Campbell, who's playing Queensland Cup this afternoon. David Fafita the other. But they can ill afford to lose this bloke. Like Tino is everything to the Gold Coast.
The on-field trainer running through all the tests they do on the various ligaments. He's back on his feet. Initial signs, I'm going to say, are positive as far as...
He can't even put weight on it.
Well, no, that's not looking as good as we first perhaps imagined him when he got back to his feet. And he needs all the help he can get from the field. Well, hearts will be in mouths in the Gold Coast coaches box, and also back up there on the Gold Coast, because they didn't bring Des Hasler to this club to be beaten 32 points to nil at Belmore by a team who hasn't made the finals in the last 7 seasons, and to have this potentially happen with Tino Fa'asuamaleaui limping from the field in some discomfort. Well, you can see they are motionless up there in the Gold Coast box.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been the afternoon that the coach was looking for, nor the players, and this just is a devastating blow. Huge blow for the Gold Coast side. He's such a good player, Tino Fa'asuamaleaui.
Just under 15 minutes remaining. So on the case, the News Hound sensing a story down there on the Gold Coast bench. We'll see what we can bring you before we leave to head to Cogra off the back of this game. The Dragons and the Cowboys coming up next on Super Saturday. But that is a big story, despite the scoreline here today.
Yeah.
Wilson playing it as it goes across the Blake Taff. He found his feet at the fullback role this afternoon for the Bulldogs. That will quieten any talk about Crichton perhaps moving to that #1 jumper. And as Matt Russell mentioned, boy, Rabbitohs Bulldogs next week. The winless Rabbitohs taking on a Bulldogs team off the back of this today.
As soon as Matty Russell said Good Friday, I started to get the tingles again, Steve.
Especially with the Bunnies playing.
Did you have visions of Sam Burgess?
I was about to get duck underneath the counter here. I was terrified.
One of the more frightening carries of a football I've ever seen, and one of the more impressive displays of courage from you and your Bulldogs teammates to put your bodies in front of him.
That was terrifying. James Graham.
But you did it anyway.
Had to, Steve.
Off.
Had to.
Full metal jacket.
Yeah.
Boy. Multiplied by 10. Here's Boyd off the back of the scrum win. So the Titans a chance from 25 out. 42 points to nil. What have they got here at the back end of the game ahead of their clash next week? An all Queensland affair taking on the Dolphins up there on the Gold Coast. Isaac Liu just inside the 10, plays it for Verrills, comes across to Foran. Pass there, well handled by Fermor. It was slightly behind him. He did well to hang on to it and absorb the impact. Pass to Foran was a shocker. Not the first time that's been the case today. His service, first game back from the hamstring tightness, left a bit to be desired. Hasn't had many good chances, Kieran Foran. The passes he's received from dummy half. Boyd here wrapped up on the last, but a very tough afternoon for Tanner Boyd.
Yeah. Sorry, it's tough getting caught when you're the kicker too on the last tackle. Tanner Boyd can hear his footsteps all afternoon.
Yeah,
the feel for the young fella.
Their end of sets have been poor, the Gold Coast. And yeah, Tanner Boyd, particularly out on that right-hand side, he stepped up to do the majority of the kicking, and he's just been under pressure. And you mentioned the new rule that's come in with no blockers in place. It has just been a free-for-all, and it's been a feeding frenzy for the Dogs in terms of their kick pressure this afternoon.
Here's King, who will bring it back just short of the 40. A couple more tries here if the Bulldogs want to keep their foot on the gas. Jamin Salmon on field now at the back end of the game. Marnie comes back to Hutchison, who will hook it across his body and find Keanu Kinney to bring it forward. Step off the left foot and takes the tackle there, and was taken high in the process. Matt Burton just checking on his condition. Tough afternoon for the Gold Coast players on field, quite obviously, but Des Hasler, speaking of the coach once again, you go back to his last 7 games in charge of the Manly Sea Eagles in 2022. They lost their last 7 as the club imploded off the back of the drama with the Pride round. And now here he is, 0-2 for the Gold Coast. There's 9 straight losses.
He's got plenty of work to do, Warren. He's got some very, very good players in his roster. That man playing the footy, certainly one of them. A number of guys that have played representative footy, but their opening fortnight has been certainly not what I expected. I expected a long, hot, tough summer for them, and I thought we'd see a lot of resolve, particularly defensively, as we've seen for such a long time for Des Hasler's footy sides, but hasn't been the case.
Foran down the short side, kicking for Khan Pereira, who is perhaps the quickest in the NRL. But Taff, no slouch himself, comes across to diffuse the situation. The Gold Coast will get the ball back.
Shown a little bit of desperation there too at the back end of the game. Taff, they're not done with yet. The Bulldogs cleans that up at the back there. Thorne trying to come up with something a little bit different. The kick in behind. Here's their chance to score. And get the football back 3 metres out.
Verrills finds Boyd. Players on that right-hand side there for the Gold Coast. Good stop made on Haas, those. Verrills crash ball there for Jolliffe.
Great tackle.
Around his legs, it was Kurt Mann who was down low. That was a good stop. Here's Boyd. Forwards. Numbers here coming in. Wilson couldn't stop Kelly. Got the ball away to Khan Pereira. Set restart. The Bulldogs jumping the gun on their own line. Kelly from dummy half. Nothing doing for him. They'd love to keep the scoreline at 0 here. Play on is the call. Did the ball bounce off the referee in the in goal once it came free? It's Matt Burton who ends up with it on that left-hand side. It was interesting to see how the ball came away there. Numbers in the tackle at some speed from Kelly, and the referee was happy to play on.
Here he is. Here he is.
His new album hitting the shelves. All good record stores on Monday morning.
Little Rebel, yeah.
All good. He's done this well all afternoon, man. He kicks early in the tackle count. Look at the chase from the Dogs hooker here. He's had a wonderful afternoon.
Stepping away there from Kurt. Man, the ball's come free. Kenny puts it down this time. And the Bulldogs get a big opportunity here to extend this scoreline towards 40.
Well, you get reward for effort sometimes in this game, and that was brilliant from Marnie. 9 minutes to go when he kicked the footy, and he sprinted down chasing his own kick. The left side didn't tie in on their kick chase. They eventually arrived, and Kenny forced into error. And Marnie just standing over the top of him, intimidating the young fullback. And a chance here for the Dogs to extend their lead.
The fans don't get too many chances to come back to Belmore.
There's no one leaving.
They are not leaving. They want more points. They're up for this. Carraz. Drive him backwards. Verrills eventually pulls him back about 35 out from the line. Liam Knight looks up and sees Isaac Liu. They're set for a big shift on the left-hand side. Marty is there to find Kurt Mann. He's the line himself. Kick out, still out there. Licking his lips. Goes to Burton. He turns it on the inside for kick out. There's no line speed on that right edge from the Gold Coast. So he takes it inside the 20. Now they're set on this right edge. It's Mann. Comes to Hutchison. Out the back ball. Awkward one there to handle. In fact, impossible to handle as it turned out for Jacob Carraz.
Yeah, Stephen Crichton came off his left centre there, and he was sweeping around deep into the back line on the right-hand side and unable just to execute their play. Canterbury as Cameron Ciraldo able to enjoy the second half.
Let's go down to Matt Russell. Any news on Tino Fa'asuamaleaui at this point?
Potentially a huge story out of this game. Warren, their captain and representative forward at the Gold Coast, off with what appeared to be a significant knee injury. The medical staff still working and testing the knee of Tino Fa'asuamaleaui in a private room in the dressing room. They expect to know more at full time. Obviously, scans will be required to confirm anything they think, and they promise more information, they hope, after full time.
And stay tuned to Fox League as we try and follow that story in the hours beyond full time here. We're in touch with the Gold Coast Titans to see if there is any news ahead of a scan. So do more examinations back in the dressing room.
Massive
Tino
story.
Fa'asuamaleaui. The Dragons and the Cowboys, they are next right here on Super Saturday. Head to Cogra, then to Leichhardt. Tigers fans hoping to see something, what they call the eighth wonder of the world when they take on the Sharks, and they might need a miracle given what they showed against the Raiders last week.
Well, I think both coaches will, as Tanner Boyd finally gets a kick away. And Shane Flanagan, both Benji Marshall will be looking for responses from their footy sides this afternoon. The Dragons disappointing last week against the Dolphins, get an opportunity back at Cogra. Very similar to what Canterbury have got, as we see a shift here from Canterbury.
Raz did well not to knock that on. Look, he stepped through defenders, having juggled the pass. So hard to bring to ground. He gets up looking there. Looks to be okay, though, as they work it away through Wilson. Back in Titans territory, inside the final 5 of game 1 of 3. It's man, Burton. His pass goes to ground, cleaned up by Connor Tracy. And got to 32 points to 0. Real fears of what this scoreline might get to for the Gold Coast, but they've stemmed the flow. They've another chance now. To my memory, the Titans haven't had a definite scoring chance here this afternoon.
I can't remember him making a break.
Only the first one that AJ Brimson blew.
That's it in the first minute of the game. Perez, he grubbers. Wilson gets back in the field of play. Throws it in. Flying was tapped. Couldn't get there in time, even wearing a cape.
Have no try. Let's confirm a knock on off Bulldogs, mate.
Gee, he's got something about him, doesn't he? Blake Wilson. That was great skill. Lovely little grubber in behind. He's got lightning speed. Watch this from Wilson. Here they come out to the right-hand side. Hutchison goes across to Carraz. Brings the line forward. Does a good job just to get it in between Kelly and Khan Pereira. Now, Khan Pereira is also lightning quick. Well, just gets on the outside, Wilson. Tippy toes inside the sideline. Kicks back in field.
Onside at this stage.
And Taft just needed a bounce, just needed a little bit of luck. And unfortunately, the ball just kicked towards the dead ball line. Oh!
Blake Taft knocks the ball on the in goal. Our decision.
Tell you what, if he gets that hand on there the first time, that's a try. It's a horrible bounce, and poor O'Kearney, he slipped over.
Yeah.
Warren, a big 4 minutes coming up defensively here for the Bulldogs, because the last time Canterbury kept a team to 0 at Belmore was 1996. Simon Gillies' team kept the mighty Illawarra Steelers, remember them, Block, to 0, 12 points to 0, 1996.
I'll never forgive him. Here up, Wollongong, Illawarra Steelers.
I
think they were.
He sung Billy Idol this afternoon. Now
I'm just getting used to your lyrics and
the
your
Steelers
vocals.
theme song is for
Can't wait till the Bears play.
He's like a Welsh baritone. It's Kelly who will play it here. Walker might have an album on the shelves on Monday the way he's going.
Pinchinelli, Skiffaletti.
He and with Liam Knight. The classic old team it was. The Steelers of the early 90s. They had some football in them. Catch here. Made by Connor Tracy. Spins back to Stephen Crichton. There's a bit of football in the Bulldogs. The Titans have played them into form, and that will be a problem for South Sydney, as we said, up next on Good Friday.
Oh, yeah. Well, they carry a lot of confidence out of this afternoon, and no doubt brought some from Cronulla, where a few things didn't go their way last week, and they've backed it up at home this afternoon with great energy. They've been terrific defensively, and they've scored some entertaining tries. It sets up an incredible Good Friday clash against South Syd. Were torn to shreds last night by their arch rivals, the Roosters.
Last tackle.
The Dogs back within range of the halfway line. May kicking and grabbed there by Verrills in the motion of kicking. Comes across the sideline inside the 20, but he was well beyond the 40 when he put the kick in. And the Bulldogs now inside 2 minutes away from opening their account for 2024. Des Hasler appears on the big screen here, and the boos, interestingly, ring out around Belmore Sports Ground. No love for the man who took them to grand finals, Michael, in 2012 and 2014.
Yeah, interesting to hear the boos just going across Belmore Sports Ground as they pan to Desi. He's some great seasons here, didn't he? Where he was able to get Canterbury to 2 grand finals in 2012 and 2014.
Memories of those teams remain in these parts, along with the Des Hasler Memorial Wrestling cage over the
dojo,
the northeastern corner of Belmore. Had an open checkbook back in those days, as you well know, Mick. And the first thing he said is, "I want a wrestling cage in that corner of the ground."
Yes, wasn't a pleasant place on a hot summer's afternoon, Warren. Often somewhere in the mid-40s, trying to get hold of James Graham and Sam Cassiano.
You have to get on a step ladder to get Cassiano.
They're not great memories, Bob.
Here's Isaac Liu headed towards the wrestling cage. They'll play it just outside the 20. Verrills at dummy half. Here's Aaron Clark, who has run hard. The carries he's had since coming off the bench for Des Hasler. We've got 4 plays remaining. 30 seconds left as Liu shows it to the right-hand side. Takes a run himself. Wrapped up there by Knight. With some help from Kurt Mann and also Blake Taff. Verrills, Burton very quickly on Tanner Boyd. They have suffocated him. It's been unbelievable. The line speed, whenever the ball's gone to Tanner Boyd, he'll have claustrophobia by full time here. The Titans halfback.
Oh, look at this.
What a win. Their biggest ever against the Gold Coast Titans. And the first time they've held opponents to nil at Belmore since 1996. 28 long years in the making this result. And at full time, the Bulldogs, big winners. It was a blitz, 32 points to nil.